My question, how do we fulfill Dr. King's dream? Dave in Canterbury, Connecticut. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Tom, that's a good question, and that's basically one of the things I want to talk about today. I'm a union man, and I belong to Martin King's stated most favorite union, 1199. We went into the South and tried to organize for healthcare workers. But anyway, I live in Eastern Connecticut, Tom, and basically out here it's all basically all white. And the white people are very poorly educated to this holiday. Number one, they don't see it as a national holiday, that Martin King believed in justice for all people. And what really, really bothers me, the way the press diminishes this holiday, Tom. Where I live, they'll go around and they'll find a few African-American faces. Well, how do you feel about Martin King Day? And how do you feel about the dream? But they never talk to a white person. And white people think it's a black holiday, Tom.
Yeah.
And they need to be educated better. And until the press catches on to that,
well, this is the problem. This is the problem, Dave. As I said, I think there's three consequential, and there's probably more. If you know of others, call me and let me know. But three consequential legacies of Dr. King's. The first was, civil rights for African Americans and all minorities. The second was the inherent dignity of work, right? Raising people out of poverty and making sure people had jobs. And the third was his opposition to war, to stupid and unnecessary wars, like the Vietnam War specifically. And in fact, let me just read. I had said earlier I'll read this later on, but you just set this up perfectly. Dave, thank you for the call. Let me go off on a rant here. This is from this speech that Martin Luther King gave on July 4th, 1965 in his church in Atlanta. I read you the setup for it. He says, "This is why we must join the war against poverty." Now just listen and see if you hear any reference to people of color in this speech at all, because it's not there. He is talking about the rights of all people, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, you name it, Native American, the rights of all people to have dignity associated with their work. He said, "I submit to you that when I took off on that plane this morning, I saw men go out there in their overhauls. I saw them working on things here and there and saw some more going out to put the breakfast on the plane so we could eat on our way to Atlanta. And I said to myself that these people who constitute the ground crew are just as significant as the pilot, because this plane couldn't move if you didn't have the ground crew. I submit to you that in Hugh Spalding or Grady Hospital, these are hospitals, the woman or the man who goes in there to sweep the floor is just as significant as the doctor, because if he doesn't get that dust off the floor, germs will begin to circulate. And those same germs can do injury and harm to the human being. I submit to you this morning that there is dignity in all work. And when we learn to pay people decent, and we must learn to pay people decent wages, whoever cooks in your house, whoever sweeps the floor in your house is just as significant as anybody who lives in that house. And everybody that we call a maid is serving God in a significant way. And I love maids. I love the people who've been ignored, and I want to see them get the kind of wages that they need. And their job is no longer a menial job for you to come see its worth and dignity. Are we really taking this thing seriously? All men are created equal? That means that every man who lives in a slum today is just as significant as John D. Nelson or any other Rockefeller. Any man who lives in a slum is just as significant as Henry Ford. All men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, rights that can't be separated from you. Go down and tell them, you may take my life, but you can't take my right to life. You may take my liberty, but you can't take my right to liberty. You may take from me the desire. You may take from me the propensity to pursue happiness, but you cannot take from me the right to pursue happiness. We hold these truths to be self. Then he goes off on, on this. But this, this should be the Martin Luther King holiday should be a celebration of unionization, of workers' rights, of anti-war sentiment, and of civil rights. Now, you could probably reverse the order of that, because his first order of business was civil rights and voting rights, and then the movie Selma just nails that.